Hello, my name is Tatiana Williams, and I will be discussing how CPV affects homeostasis in dogs, otherwise known as canine parvovirus. Dogs are descended from an extinct Pleistocene gray wolves. They are mammals derived from the Canidae family. The species was also one of the first to be domesticated by humans, and therefore they have adapted to our lifestyles. Despite being one species, their body structure and physical features greatly vary among breeds. A dog's environment consists of everything around them that impacts their daily life and well-being. This includes physical space that surrounds them in a home, a yard, designated areas within a home. Also, enrichment objects that provide mental stimulation and physical exercise, such as chew toys, interactive games, and puzzle feeders, are all included in their environment. Their feeding area and their types of food that are given, social interactions, including with people, other animals, other dogs, routine and structure is also a part of their environment. Playtime, training sessions, also health hazards or things that may be safe or unsafe, trips to the vet, medications that they need, and the stimuli that occurs in their environment, noises, traffic noises, household activities, things like that, things that they're always around. All of these elements can impact the dog's mood, behavior, and overall quality of life. Domestic dogs as a whole species are not endangered. However, there are some individual breeds that are inching towards extinction. This is mainly due to the loss of function because the task the dog was bred for is no longer necessary. This extinction threat also comes from crossbreeding, which dilutes the physiological makeup of certain breeds. There are some agencies that advocate for breed preservation and work to establish that goal. There are also private individuals, such as ethical breeders, that work to preserve breed components. This is the physiological, biological, and appearance that they work to preserve. So, two major homeostatic challenges dogs face with CPV, canine parvovirus, are metabolic acidosis and immune system suppression. So, metabolic acidosis can occur from the volume or the high volume of diarrhea and vomiting. Can cause severe dehydration. This causes the blood pH to become acidic or have a low a value below 7, a low reading of pH. In addition to this, CPV suppresses the immune system by attacking bone marrow, dropping the white blood cell count, so it makes it harder for the dogs to fight off the infection while being in an acidic state. Over to the right are just some examples, the picture on the right are just some examples of how a dog can become or go into a metabolic acidosis state. There can be increased phosphorus, decreased sodium, things of that nature. So CPV is an infectious agent. It's from the Parvoviridae family. Although it is picked up in the environment, CPV is a resilient pathogen. It's found in multiple environments and favors small, crowded spaces. The disease enters a dog host and immediately begins replicating viral DNA, which hinders the immune response to fight the infection and damages the intestinal tract, causing further dehydration like we had mentioned on the previous slide. If you look at the photo right here in the middle, it's just an example of how CPV is commonly contracted, so you go on a walk with your dog, or your dog, maybe a stray dog, is out in the environment, just walking, and maybe they come into contact with feces that has been contaminated with CPV, and they smell it, and it touches their nose, and it enters that way. Once it enters, it is drawn to tissues and organs with high cell division. So you have the lymph nodes, the bone marrow, highly infectious there, the spleen, the intestines, again a high hit area, and then the blood's kind of in the center because again you go into that acidic state, which then circulates in the body. So the problem with maintaining homeostasis is the blood pH imbalance, the electrolyte imbalance, and the ionic imbalance. One way that this disease causes dehydration, again, is by attacking the intestinal tract, which has high dividing cells. It damages the villi and crypts lining the intestinal walls. This causes diarrhea and loss of water from the body. It also prevents the absorption of water and vital nutrients and minerals, which worsens the dog's condition. Furthermore, the viral DNA has specialized proteins called NS2 that effectively damage host mDNA, which weakens the dog. Less energy is being produced, it's disrupting that whole process there, and at the same time replicating itself. Additionally, due to the damage to the intestines in conjunction with excessive diarrhea and vomiting, the blood pH becomes very acidic, which again, not sustainable. For the ionic imbalance, it can throw off the sodium-potassium pump, which again can affect the energy levels of the dog. And if you look at the picture here, this is from right here, the relative amount of depolarized mitochondria in hours post-infection. That is from a study that looked at how canine parvovirus affected the mDNA, or the mitochondria and mDNA of a dog during or after an infection and the amount of hours after, and it showed that the mitochondria of the dog tried to fix itself right after infection, but then the longer the infection went on, the more damage was done. Excuse me. So, aside from supportive care, there are 4 modes to treat and manage CPV in domestic dogs. Vaccines are number 1 when it comes to dealing with this disease. Since there is no sure treatment yet, vaccination will help reduce potentially severe symptoms if a dog is infected. Also, getting nutrition into the dog body is vital to recovery in order to help dogs regain strength. If a dog is unable to independently eat or drink, a GI tube may be put in to prevent further acidosis. Medications such as antibiotics, pain meds, and IVs are typically given to treat secondary infections, which are common with CPV, and any other symptoms. A novel treatment that is proving to be effective is fecal microbiota transplantation. This is when a small stool sample, about 10 milligrams, is taken from a healthy dog and mixed in a saline solution. This mixture is then administered rectally. CPV is a disease that should be taken seriously because of its resiliency and high mortality rate. When attached to a host, it invades multiple organs and tissues and damages them. This causes internal imbalances as the body attempts to fight back, but is hindered by the disease itself. Although there is no set treatment, advancements continue to develop.